Welcome back. I'm expecting a delivery today, which is very fitting for what I want to talk about. So we'll talk about that. But let's go downstairs. Let's grab a drink while we wait. It's fitting that I had this delivery today because of what I want to talk about. Not just about the beers. I actually wanted to drink this on here, but I didn't get it cold because I'm an idiot, but that's okay. I can fix that here in a second. But the existence of this beer and the fact that it just came on my doorstep and I could get a box of beer delivered to my house is exactly what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about this idea that our local breweries, they have to get scrappy. I've talked about that a lot on Cincy Brewcast, which you can go and listen to Cincy Brewcast if you want. But I've talked a lot about this fact that breweries have to do something different than what they were doing before. And that's not new for the craft beer industry. The idea of innovating and changing and evolving is exactly what this industry is about. So it's not surprising, but it happened really quick this time. We should drink a beer, though. Since I can't drink pink, I can drink red. So I've had this one sit in the fridge for a while. It's not my first time having the beer, so I know what to expect. And luckily, it is a weekend right now, so I don't have to go anywhere. We're hanging out around the house because this beer is 16% ABV. It's a weird beer, which shouldn't be surprising for Urban Artifact. That's part of who they are, is weird. Wiles, I think that's what we call them. They do things that is a little bit against the norm or what you're supposed to do, which is exactly what we're talking about today. This beer is a beer, so it's 51% beer, but then the other 49% of it is fruit. It is loaded with so much fruit that it just borders that line between beer and wine, which in a bigger kind of sense of what we're talking about here, it's searching for what people want to drink, what this new thing in the industry is, innovating and evolving and trying to do something that people haven't really done before. Not that people haven't done this, but that people aren't doing right now, trying to find that next evolution of who you are as a brewery, which everybody has to do right now. In this current craft beer world, in craft beer in general, look, craft breweries are scrappy. Craft beer is scrappy. That's what it's all about. But normally it's this, it's a choice. You push yourself into these other realms because you want to experiment and you want to play around with ideas. With 2020, this year, it was done for breweries. They were forced into evolution. For a lot of craft breweries, they might have had ideas of things they wanted to do. And 2020 kind of forced them to do them quicker than they would have done them otherwise. there used to be this idea, this model, that you could go and you could start a brewery, you could make beer, you serve it in a tap room, people come into your tap room, they sit at your bar, and they drink your beer. And that was the normal, that was the easy way to do things. It's not like that now, obviously, for lots of reasons, but we can't sit at the bar and try your beer. Now you have to find new ways to get that beer to us, be it packaging when you didn't think you were ever going to package your beer, be home delivery, be shipping beer. I mean, Urban Artifact ships their beer across the country now. There's like 12 states or something where you can just get on their website and order beer and it'll show up on your doorstep. That's insane. That's fun, but that's insane. Fibonacci will drive the beer to my doorstep. I can get on the website. I could get on here right now and type in that I want beer, and it will just show up on my door within like an hour. That's awesome, but it's crazy. That's the world that we live in now. We should try this beer. Project Red, not Project Pink that you see sitting right there. It's a beer, it's a wine, it's a thing, and it's fun. It's different. It's an evolution. It's an experiment. And my God, you've never smelled a beer like this before. You've never tasted a beer like this before. The thought of what this is going to taste like when it hits my mouth is already making my mouth water. It is like a big, jammy thing. I mean, it's just so hard to describe. Bracingly tart, like biting into fresh fruit. You can't really identify what you're tasting. You can't pick out the specific fruits. There's berries of some kind, red ones. I mean, it's indescribable. This beer is nuts, and that's what you have to do right now. You've got to push yourself into these new places that maybe you weren't comfortable doing before. Or maybe you wanted to take your time going into before. You just have to do it now. And that's good. It's good for all of us. It's good for the breweries. It's good for the drinkers. It's good for the industry. The industry will be stronger as we get through all of this. Businesses have to adapt and change over time. If they don't, they won't exist anymore. It's just the way it goes. I mean, you can look at the music industry and the way that the changes that we've seen in our lifetime with that too. You have to adapt and you have to change and you have to be okay with that or else you'll die. And beer is no different. You've got to figure out what people want and you have to find a way to get that for them. And you got to adapt and you got to shift and you have to evolve. And that's exactly what we're seeing locally. And our local industry has done incredible with that, of shifting and adapting and figuring it out. I don't think that's the same for every city. We're lucky. This series, this color series, this top secret fruited ale series was in the works before COVID. This is a sign that a brewery like Urban Artifact has been thinking about their own evolution. This should make you feel very good about this brewery, knowing that they are not ever comfortable with who they are. They are always looking for that next phase of what it means to be Urban Artifact and to be an Urban Artifact beer. Stuff like this is not normal. Stuff like this is not craft beer of the last decade. This is fun. This is craft beer of tomorrow. Who are we as drinkers? And where does it go from here? I don't know. I have no idea. I think you're going to see more places find new ways to share their product with you. You're going to find new places, find new meaning behind what that product is, and being comfortable with that. If you want to make seltzer, make seltzer. If you want to go and distill, go and distill. If you want to make cider, do it. If you want to make something that nobody else has made before, make something that nobody else has done before, because that is what makes you survive into this next era of craft beer. As for me, what does beer like this do to me? I mean, just holding it, I can start to feel that I'm different.